Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make soap from ashes, using ashes. We have a wood burning stove, and you're going to want hardwood. So these were from the last batch that I made, and it turned out really good. I had to cook it like 5 hours. I know it sounds like a long time, but it's really, really worth it for our family to be able to make our own soap and have it, be healthy and also inexpensive. And so I just take these ashes from our wood burning stove, and I fill up a giant pan here, probably about 3/4 of the way, and then I fill up about an inch over that, fill it with water. And I'm going to bring it to a boil, and I'm going to boil it probably about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. You can boil it more if you'd like, but then we'll test it to see if the lye is a good strength. So for this recipe, I'm just going to try to videotape these ingredients here so you know what to do. And I did find this particular recipe finally after all this searching. I found it online, and it really does work. You just have to figure out how to do it exactly, how long to cook it, and just be patient, because it does take a long time. But I mean, if your batch makes 14 bars of soap, I don't know about you, but 14 bars of soap goes a long way for us. So it's just awesome. It's really exciting, especially if you let it cure a good amount of time. So the longer you let it cure, the longer it'll last. It'll get more solid, and it'll just last longer. This batch, I think you could use it, after 24 hours of letting it solidify. You could use it, but it would kind of disappear quickly. But after a few weeks, it really felt great, and didn't disappear as much when we were using it. But you can let it cure as long as you wanted. And so I just I make my lye water here. So here we go. We're making the lye water, and I'm gonna boil it for a while, mix it up, and then I'll strain it, and I'll show you what the lye water looks like here soon. And then I'll clean my pan out, and I add 1 gallon of lye water, and then I'll add 32 ounces of coconut oil, and just put it all in there together. And then I'm going to add some vinegar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar with a 1/2 cup of water, and of hot water, and I'm going to put it in there, and then I'm just going to boil it until it gets kind of thick and slimy. Honestly, you're going to have to wait a while. It's going to take several hours. The first time when I did it, I didn't wait long enough. And then I had to, and then I tried it again, and I still didn't wait long enough. And so then I did it a third time. I rebatched my first and second batch and waited long enough, and it ended up turning out much better. And then the fourth batch was this batch, and I probably cooked it about 5 hours. And supposedly you can add a little bit of salt to make it more firm, but I really just don't know that that's necessary. If you wait long enough, if you're patient and you wait like 5 hours, you will see it'll become like thick, like pudding, and you will know when it's ready to pour it into your mold. Maybe the first time it may, there may be a little uncertainty, but by the second and third time you make this soap, you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is right. So, and blessedly, you can rebatch your soap. So if it, doesn't go quite right the first time, you don't have to throw away all your ingredients. For us, we don't like wasting anything in our family. So we try to really utilize what we have and just be thankful for the resources and use them up the best we can. So when you're cooking your lye water, I read that it's better to use a wooden spoon And also make sure that your pot is a stainless steel pot and not aluminum, because the lye will eat away at your at the lining of your pot. And also when you make your soap too, just make sure you've got a stainless steel pan that you're using. I've got my coconut ready, my coconut oil ready right there, all measured out. And I'll probably put it in the microwave and melt it a little bit just to make sure that I've got, you know, close to right on 32 ounces. So 4 quarts, 4 of these quart-sized jars, they're going to equal 1 gallon of lye water. So here's our ashes that were boiling still. They say when you're dealing with lye and stuff, wear gloves and goggles and stuff like that. I have made soap with food grade lye that you buy. I got mine on Amazon when I was making my soap with the food grade lye. And yeah, I wore gloves and goggles and all that. But with this, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm letting you know why I'm not wearing gloves and I don't have goggles on right now. I'm not like sticking my face, you know, in the pot, like near the pot, but it doesn't bother my skin. And my husband's a farmer and he has his hands in ashes all the time. So it doesn't bother our skin, but you know, you may want to take precautions and wear gloves and goggles and just find what works best for you. But I just wanted to let viewers know out there that that's why I'm not wearing gloves, because it does not bother my skin. So there are a couple ways to find out if your lye water is strong enough yet. One of which is to put an egg in there, and if a fourth of it is kind of floating on the top, then that means that your lye is strong enough. And or you can use a potato. About some of these coals on top, all this charcoal, so I can see my potato better. Pop it in there to see if about a fourth of it is floating on top. So then we'll know that our lye water is ready to strain. I think that's pretty good. Let's see here. That's a little potato. I mean, it's a teeny one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You see how just a little bit of it is floating on top? So you're going to need some cheesecloth to strain your lye water and get all the gritty stuff out. Alright, so there's our cooked ashy lye water. And I'm just going to take a little something to scoop it, and I'm going to dump it inside of the jar and strain it. Alright, so there's one jar, so I'm going to fill up the other ones now. Okay, as you can see here, so this is the end of the pot after I've dumped out all the liquid pretty much, and you've got like sandy ash here. For that big old pot, perhaps if I added a little bit more water, we could have got a little more lye water out of it, but we got about three and a third quart-sized jars. So you may have to cook a little more ash to get some more lye water, but you could also do half a batch too if you wanted to just try it out and see if you like it. So I ended up taking those ashes that we had left in our pot, and I added another quart of water and boiled it for about 10 minutes or so and put the potato in it, and it floated about, you know, like we had done before. And so we got some more lye water there, so we'll have enough for a gallon of lye water. You know, I strained mine several times. You can do what you want with yours. You'll find what works best for you. But I do strain my water several times to get a lot of the granules out.